Okay. Hi everyone and welcome to another Mighty Ginkgo tutorial. My name is Zero and I'll be your instructor for this lesson. Okay, so this tutorial is going to be a little bit longer than I would like it to be, and I'm going to try to move through it as fast as I can. We're explaining a new plugin that I just created called Action Jackson. Don't ask me why. I thought it was funny. What Action Jackson does is allows you to retarget skeletons in an onigiri-like style, and it renames all the bones the that's in the skeleton and changes the names in the animations when you do. It also allows you to export the animations in a FBX format as well as the BVH format, with more formats coming in the future because I'm having fun making this. And let's see, all of them. It does batch export, single export, changing the names. It even lets you change the rotation of the animation when you're exporting it, and the scale of the animation when you're exporting it. Because sometimes when you export animation from Blender, it can be very small, and I don't know how to make it big, which is why this plugin exists. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown of how it works and what to do, and hopefully it will help you do what you do a lot easier. Doobly. Okay, so let's begin. So I'm going to go over it and show you what it looks like, and then we're going to just show what it does. Sorry, I don't mean to be like what it do. Alright, so when you open it up, it should say Action Jackson. I don't know why I have two here. I think that's because I was testing out a different one at the same time, so it's just there. But when you open it, it should just be one. I have already imported in our favorite test subject. We have Cammy from Street Fighter 5. I think V is 5. So Street Fighter 5, and we already have her animations imported in. You know, let's see if I can get something good. Like, as you can see, she's here, and she has her motions, and she's ready to go. Don't know why it's not letting me. No, it's not. It's not the play button. It should be a thing down here that's not here. Hang on, let me switch this over to my layout real quick. Here we go. That's the thing. It's my time frame should be at the bottom and it wasn't. Now I'm like, why can't I get in the pose move? Because I don't have her bone selected. Okay, so as you can see, she's rigged, she's animated, and she's ready to go. Now I want her to maybe have the same bones as, well, let's just use Second Life for example, and export them all out with those bone names without having to do the onigiri method where we would retarget it and go through every single animation one at a time. I mean, that's a fine method of doing things, but when you have something that has a whole bunch of animations, you kind of yearn for bulk export, and that's what we want. So I'm gonna go back into edit mode real quick, animation mode, and about time. I don't know how to reset my windows in this new Blender, but forgive me. I think this is the timeline down here, but there we go. That's what we need. Let me hit. Alright, so we're good. We got Cammy in here, and we need to get to work. So I got my timeline down here. You click on it, you can see she moves. So let's start the process of renaming her. When you open up Action Jackson, you'll see the first top, at the top, there are two menus here. One says source and the other one says target. It's kind of self-explanatory. Well, not really, I guess, because the target would mess it up. But the source is which rig are we working with. What is the main one? So our source here is Cammy's, which is this Z10 right here. And you can see when you click it, all of the bones that are in here line up and are ready for you to start using it. So let's just scroll down a little bit more so we could explain this. In the first column you see here, it says which ones they are. This first column is the original, and that's the original bone names that are in here before you start messing them up. The current one is what the bone names are currently, and the rename tab is, of course, what we want to rename them. So if we wanted to just grab some random, bone. And to make it easier to see what bone you're grabbing, you can press this little circle button at the top and it syncs. So whenever you select a name here, it shows you where that bone is inside of the skeleton. You also want the follow row selection because they kind of work together. So make sure those are turned on when you're working to make your stuff a lot easier. So let's just grab a random part of her. I kind of don't want to say let's just grab her by the pelvis and start working, but let's grab her by the leg and start this. Go one down and grab her leg bone. So you can see that in the model it's highlighted like, hey, you have her leg bone. And right here we can name it whatever we want. So for just the sake of argument, let's just name it 1. In fact, we can go down this whole list and just go like 1, 2, 3, whatever you want to name these bones, and you see it'll go down the list with it. Actually, I think you're supposed to just click on it and then it'll go down the list. Oh no, is it doing that again? Dangle, the last time it did that. Alright, so we'll have to fix that. Action Jackson seems to break sometimes whenever you rename the bones like this and it doesn't do the highlight, and that was an issue in the last release. I thought it was fixed, I just didn't test it. Oh, wait. What else need to change is the source? Maybe that does it. Nope. Dang. Alright, so the next release will have this fixed. But let's just pretend like it's doing it for argument's sake. Okay, so we have it here, all named, what we want. Now we just scroll down a wee bit more. And we press this button that says apply to source or name. And you see the current changed. So now the current name of the bones is what we put here in the rename. So let's say that you accidentally messed up and you're like, oh no, I messed up and I want to go back to what it was originally. Well, you have a couple of options here. If you messed up on one, you can simply check the box right here of the original name and then press this button that says revert to current. And you see that the name will go right back to what it was before. If you dunked up the whole thing and you want to fix it back, just click this box at the top next to the original one and it will select all of the boxes. And you can just press revert and then all of the buttons will go back to, the bones will go back to their original names that's over here. You cannot change these, I don't think. Oh crap, you can't. Don't mess with those. Leave the originals as is. So, yeah, so once you have those fixed, you can just keep on keeping on till you get everything that you want. Now, let's say you spent forever in a day and you renamed all the bones. Let's rename them back real quick. Source to the original. So now we have our numbers here. We can save this so that we don't have to do this again. So just scroll on down a little bit further and you'll see this path that says mapping path. You're going to click the folder and select where you want it to save. We could just save it here on my desktop. And you can name it, Tutorial Cami. And hit accept. And then it saves automatically. You can see it down at the bottom. But if you're like paranoid, you could just keep pressing the save button again just to see that it says right here at the bottom, save the pairs. The same thing goes over here for the load. If you load in the body and you want to do it again without having to remap all of these, you could just press load. If we can prove this. Let me just erase these. Revert to current. Alright, so we can revert this, and I can open up a map I did for this already. Second life, Cami map and Hope. And you see that these are the ones that I have put in here. M-hip and M-knee. So these are second life bones. And then you just press the button again and say apply source to there. And it should do it. See? Yeah, current. That's what it is. Alrighty, so that's how the basics of this works. Now we can go to the fun part, which is... Oh, wait, I actually was about to forget something. Remember we had that menu up there where it says target? What's that about? Alright, so I'm going to go talk to you about this real quick for you. I know I keep saying real quick. It's a Philly thing. That's what we do. You got join, and real quick. That's how our vocabulary. Okay, so what we want to do is, let's say you are trying to change the name of the bones for something that you like. In my case, it was Second Life because that was the only skeleton I had around. And you want to put the Second Life skeleton in here, but you don't want to go down the whole line. M hip, M pelvis, all that jazz. You don't want that. You want to do it not instantly, but easier. That's where the target comes in. We can load in a second skeleton and use the eyedrop tool to name in our bones. So I'm going to go and grab a second life skeleton, which should be in my second life kit. So we have a bento skeleton, and I'm just going to slide it back a wee bit so it's not all on her. And I'm going to take Cammy, and I'm going to go press into, what is this, edit mode? Pose mode. And I'm going to press Control R, Alt R. Jesus, Cammy, work with me, please. Alright, there we go. So now we have Cammy and her pose, and she's ready to go. Alright, so, I don't know why she did that. Oh, bro, I don't know. Alright, so we got Cammy. She's boned up and ready to go. So let's go back into object mode. Or maybe pose mode. Press Control R, Alt R, A, everything, R. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. So now we have two skeletons in here. We need to establish which one is the source and which one is the target. The source is what we want. It's going to be the source of all our animations, and the target is going to hold what we want it to be. So let's select the second life bento from here. And if you have a whole bunch of bones in there, you could just use the eyedropper and hold it over it and then click it, and it'll make it do the same thing. So once we have that done, we just press this button that says retarget source and target, and they should both light up red and blue. Red for the source, blue for the target. Alright, next we just simply select the bone that we want it to be. So we have Cammy's shoulder right here. I'm going to select her shoulder. I'm like, why it's glowing green at the time, because I'm using the wrong thing. Okay, so yeah, grab her arm, grab the arm, the shoulder here, and we're going to press capture pair, and it's going to fill in. And we're just going to go down and do the next. Her arm, I think it's doing this because I already have Cammy's map loaded into there to the second life one. So what I'm going to do is try to clear it again. I'm not sure if I did it already, but revert one more time just for the hell of it. So I'm going to revert those and then apply it just to be safe. Okay. Why is it? Did I? Oh, ain't that dumb? Alright, hang on one second. I see what I did. I was going to say revert the current one. And then when I push apply to source, I just renamed them again. Yeah, I know. It's my plugin. I'm still messing it up. Okie dokie. So back to what I was saying. We are going to go back into pose mode here. And I'm going to put Cammy back into this pose here. And I'm going to select it. So arm, capture pair, go down a list, capture pair, and the glow green when you've already done it. So that's probably why it's doing it like this. You know what I wonder, would it be easier if I just reset the plugin like this so it's like new? Start all over. Give it a second. It's a whole lot of animations loaded into that little lady. Okay, let's start over here. So we have a nice fresh one so we can stop doing stuff we ain't supposed to be doing yet. Alright, so I'm going to go here to my animations. Roll this over here so you guys can see. We are going to select my skeleton. Bring in the second life one. I feel like they're bring in the bento. We're going to scoot it back so we can easily click it. And there we go. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to select Cammy, her skeleton, go down to Action Jackson, make Cammy the source, and second life the target. Okie dokie. Now we're going to go into retarget mode, and now you can see that they are blue and red like they're supposed to be. I'm going to make the Action Jackson menu a little bit bigger. Again, still not regretting his name. And now we do like we did before. We're going to select our shoulder. We're going to select the shoulder over there on the second life one. And we're going to capture the pair. That is not supposed to happen. But it bees. So we got this going down the line. Just selecting the bones that match to what we want. So the bones are alright. So it's working. It's working, yeah, but it's not doing what I wanted it to do. The skeleton for the source is supposed to turn green when something is paired to it. So they're supposed to turn green together, not green on its own. So I'm either gonna have to refresh and check this, like turn Blender off and do it again, or go back into debug. So yay to stuff. But it is working. It's just not aesthetically pleasing like I had planned for it today. So chest. So we're just gonna go down the line so you can see how fast this is. So capture pair. I want to get rid of these extra bones. It's out of here. Her pelvis. Grab her by the pelvis. I know somebody gonna say something about that. So there, and then you got her leg. Got her foot. Grab the other foot while we're down here. And this is just how it works. I should give y'all a warning now that if you try using this for Second Life, it may not work even though it's going to be exported in BVH format with the Second Life bones, because some of these animations that, especially with Street Fighter, are bigger than what Second Life allows. Second Life only allows you to have, what is it called? A file size, I think it was of 250 kilobytes. So some of these are like 400, 500, 450. So they will not work with Second Life. Also, if you need to test this while you're rotating it, you can just press this button right here that says full transformation and then source the target. So when you are rotating her neck right here, you see that the neck over there is actually rotating. Now that's one that's buggy AF and I never quite figured it out, but I'm hoping that by the time this thing is done, we'll do that. So I'm going to turn that off and put it back. You think it would work with rotations only? Kinda. Not really. No, wait. Nah. I might have to take that out. I'm sorry. Let's turn that back off. But hey, use your imagination. If the neck is moving over here, the neck should move there. Alright, so I got the head. And that's the neck. And the head should be somewhere near. I grabbed it on my first try. Alright, so we have the head. Nope, we want this right here. And turn at the source, because that's what we're working with. Alright, so we got all our stuff done. I am not doing the hands because we will be here forever. But we got a basic outline of all the stuff. And now all we have to do is press this button right here that says apply to source. And you'll see over here it should change. So in there somewhere is the new bone. See, M pelvis is now this, which was usually C pelvis. So she has changed. She has Second Life bones, and we can go and export her out now to what we want. So when you scroll down here, you get to the Action Jackson exporter. I really wish I had something else that rhymed with that a little bit better, but I guess I couldn't make it too silly. So the menu here for exporting is fairly easy. All you have to do is select it. It's going to ask you what armature are we exporting the animations from. We're going to say the source, and it's going to ask us what format are we exporting it in, either FBX or BVH currently, and we're going to say BVH. Now with FBX though, before we even get to BVH, FBX allows you to export the animation out with mesh or without the mesh. And set the scale to how you want it to be. Now, sometimes when you export from Blender, like I said, it may come out small, so you may have to up the scale if it comes out small. And also, they may be upside down or whatnot. So you can choose to fix those with these settings here. Use scale to make it bigger, and then the rotation things to make it up. In Cammy's case, when I exported before, she was face down. So to fix that, I have to put it on -90 on the X scale to make her facing up. Now I could include the meshes if I wanted to, and I think I might do that just to try it out. They have a feature here that allows you to export one animation so you can test it rather than try to push export all and then wait for that to bake and then test it. So we're going to try with our FBX first. And oh, I forgot. We got to tell it where to save it to. So right here in our output folder, we're just going to click this little button, go to our desktop, create a new folder, and I'm just going to name it Tuto because I'm too lazy to put the rest of the Oreo in there. And then we're going to press export current animation as a single file. Okay, so it's crashed. Oh man, Action Jackson, what's going on with you? You were working fine when I did this before. Alright, so maybe it ain't working there. Let me go check and see what happened. My desktop real quick. It seems to have. Wonder why it gave that error. Okay. So I'm going to copy this address. I'm going to open up my Gnosis because we still haven't figured out how to pronounce that properly yet. I'm still laughing at my husband. That depends on how hard that E is. So let me open it up and see what happened. Alright, she's in there, and it just didn't... Woo! That's rough, bro. Alright, so, yeah. We're gonna have to put that back in debug. I was so busy with the, whatchamacallits, the, BVA, so I forgot to test the FBX again and see if it broke. So yes, it did break, so don't worry about that right now. We're just gonna stick with the BVH, because that definitely works. So I'm going to export her again. Hold on. That's not even working. What the? It was working when I tested it out. Ah, dang it. Yeah, you guys didn't hear that in the last tutorial. I did the cat jumped on everything and it probably broke it. Dingle. Alright, let me test and see what happened there. Maybe it worked. Nope, just straight up T-pose. Ah, dingle dangle. When I find that cat... Alright, y'all, give me a second. Let me go and check this out and see what happens. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. It didn't even take that long to fix. So remember when I had first started and I said, hey, look, I don't know why there's two Action Jacksons here, and then just ignored it? Well, that was the problem. It still had the skeletons over from the broken Action Jackson, not fully done. You had to just delete that out of my cache and then reinstall it back. And then I had to put all the animations back, which took forever because she has so many animations. Alright, so now that that is back, let's pretend like that didn't happen, and we're going to export the stuff out, and it's going to look gorgeous, just what you see. So what I need to do first is to click on this chunky cami, and then press the space bar to activate this menu here. And I'm going to type smooth, because nobody wants a chunky cami. We want a smooth cami. Alright, so we have our smoothed out cami. We're going to select her bones, and we're going to move this into animation. So it would probably look like layout or something, but I like to press the animation one so it gives you all the stuff. And when by default it's going to be over here in the dope sheet, we're going to switch it from dope sheet to action editor, and in the action editor you're going to select the current animation. Now, one of the reasons why it was exporting, because it was giving me the error and exporting at the same time, is that I had Cammy in the T-pose. I had her set in the default T-pose animation. That was the action she was doing. So when I exported it out, I actually exported it out properly. I just exported her out in the T-pose. It really technically wasn't broken. It was just doing what I did. So make sure that when you're trying to do a test export, that you have an animation and the action editor. I'm sorry. I'm sure that was just a bunch of word soup to you, huh? Okay, so we have this stylish kick here, and we're going to export it out. So let's do like we did before. Let's put it in the armature as source and the format in FBX. We're going to export this out to our tutorial folder. I am going to I think I have to rotate it. No, I want to have it 90 degrees. Let's just leave it at 0. Let's see it at 0. We'll rotate it into the spot. Now, if it ain't, you can fix it. You can do all those and modify it if it don't come out right. So once we have this here, we're just going to export our current action here, the single one. And that's this kick here. And you're going to keep your eye at the bottom of the screen, and it'll tell you if it worked. So it'll say wrote to wherever you told it to go. So it's in tutorial. So I'm going to open up my Noesis image viewer thingy. Somebody tell me how hard that E is so we can pronounce this properly. And I'm going to my tutorial folder. You see the failed stuff and the working stuff. And we did a FBX. So I want FBX, I think a 6 hit. Okay, so it's upside down and giving us a very lewd shot of her. I'm just going to press this to rotate her around. So you can see that it came out right. So it's in FBX, it's animated, and if you look here, you can see that her skeleton is indeed here. So this is why we do tests, because we can see that she was actually upside down. So when we export it again, we can change the rotation here and fix it. So I'm going to go with a straight 90 degrees on the x-axis. Scaling is fine for this, so I'm not going to change that, and I'm just going to export it again. I did find that when I'm trying to put these inside of Unreal Engine, like I haven't put the FBX inside there, that made it crash, but I did put the BVH in there, and that was fine. I had to turn the scale up to 1000 for Unreal, because otherwise they come in really tiny. So if you're getting tiny, scale it up. Alright, so let's go back to our Gnosis and our tutorial folder, and it should override it. Is she still? Well, now it's above her head. So what's look, oh, that's that. Alright, so this is above her head. So what should I be, like 45 degrees then? That's like half. I'm going to pretend like I can do math. So I'm just going to do 45 degrees on that axis instead. Let's try it one more time. If not, we're just going to just click the button. And so you get the point. It works. But I'm just showing you that you can edit it. Probably would help if I deleted the old stuff in that folder before I saved it. That way we know we ain't just looking at the same thing. Yeah. Next one. Alright, so upskirt cami. Yeah, there we go. So with this one, it's like 45 degrees, give or take. So there she is kicking, and it's fine, and it's got the skeleton, so you can see. Now let's do the same thing with our BVH. So we can switch over to BVH, and we can test it here. Now with BVH, it does not export the mesh. It only exports the skeleton, so you will get no mesh when you export this, just the bones and the animation. So I'm going to do the same thing here and export it. What? Oh, sorry. Alright, it wrote that time. And let's go back in there. Notice this again. And there we go. You can see that that's her skeleton, and it's just the animation. And you can use this to export it in any other format that you want that this one isn't. In fact, I didn't even think about that while I was working on it. I may not even have to do all that extra work. You can use Gnosis fancy schmancy exports and export your skeletons and meshes in their own different one. Okay, so now that we know that is how it's going to work, let's say we want all of her animations in this format. So that's what we press this button right here that says export all animations per file. So you get one file per animation. And it's going to go right back to the tutorial folder where we had it to. And I'm just going to click it. Hopefully it turns white. There we go. And that way, you know, once it stops being white, then it's done. So because she has a good chunk of animations, it's going to take a while. So I don't know if I should just pause it and let you see it, or just let you get a grasp of how long you're going to be waiting. We can talk for a little bit. How's your day? Hopefully everybody's fine. The weather is getting better. It's not an inferno or an ice bucket in your joint, is it? That's good. Well, stay cool if it's hot. Just to keep warm if it's cold. Enjoy if it's in between. Eat anything good? I've been craving cake. I mean, I got a cupcake, but it's not the same as cake. I probably should pause it. I bet as soon as I pause it, that's when it's going to process through. If anything, I should have processed all the FBX ones so you could look at everything, like, go, how pretty it's going to be. Although I wonder how it would animate the eyes, you know, like, because some of those animations are for the mouth and the eyes, so you're just going to scale through and it's going to be like, eye dart this way, eye dart that way. Oh, there it goes. So it didn't take too long, right? And that was 246 animations that exported in the time it took me to treat you like a regular housewife. Asking about your day. Okay, let's go back here and figure out where we're at. So as we go back to our tutorial folder, you see we have all of these. Oh, the steel ones are her eyes. And I do not know why she is face down. Dingle. Did it not rotate? I think it did. Well, you know what? Well, we can just do it again if we wanted to, but I don't want to. So look, we'll just say that it worked, okay? So these are all of her animations, and they're like, yeah, and styling and upside down, and you'll be fine. So that's how this works. It's a little buggy, yeah, but this is my biggest and longest, like, most complex plugin I've made so far. So it's going to be a little bit buggy. I ask for your patience and understanding. It ain't like you paid for it. And, we'll fix it as we go. You know what I wonder? What if... I want to test it again real quick. What if we put it at 0 rotation and then export them all? Would that fix it? Or would that only make it worse? Again, I really should have put it in a different folder. I'm sure some of them have already saved. Let's see. Nah, I didn't. I wonder what's up with that. Why did it do that? When I did the last folder, it came out perfect. Well, it's still work in progress. It'll get better soon. But I think this is as long as it should be for an example and tutorial and read me thing. Plus, my husband's going to sleep, and I think y'all can probably hear him snoring in the back. Sugar, wake up. Don't sleep without your mask. Alright, so let me skadoot. That was Action Jackson. As you see, it's a little bit buggy, but we're getting there. And I hope that it can at least help you a little bit while we work out all the kinks. So this has been Zero from the Mighty Ginkgo, and this has been my plugin. I hope it helps you out with your projects, and I hope so much that it makes your life a little bit easier. Alright, I'm out. I'll see you guys later. I got other projects to work on, so see you when I see you. Good luck.